Kids, aloha! Happy Tuesday. I know it's not Sunday. It's just that I had 4 shorts that I put out recently. The minute ones, the little minute things that everybody's doing shorts. Well, I had to come back to tell you that there was something behind those little shorts that nobody knew about. Oh boy. Well, that's why I wanted to just make this a short one on some shorts that I'm gonna explain what is behind it all. So the bully one was only it was under a minute. So it was how to beat up a bully, without having to fight. That one that we all know is very negative, to beat up a bully, even though you might think he deserves it. It's breaking rule number 1. You never start a fight, but you never run from one. And then we all know the other rules. If you don't, go to episode 1. I don't have time for all this. So that was the short one on that. But then we had the propane tanks. It was like 11 days ago. Uncle Martin was really close to a situation. The propane tanks that exploded. We've done business with this propane company since the early 70s. And kids, this is what I'm saying. You never know when things are going to happen to where it could be really negative. And that's where the angels come in, and they actually do protect you. I feel that day I was definitely protected, and I believe everyone that was involved in working there was protected. From what I understand now, no one was hurt, and that's fantastically a miracle. There was Cole, Jesse, and I think Muhammad, if I got their names right. I know Cole was there. I made an order prior to that explosion. In fact, I had filled up regular tanks, and then I wanted big tanks, big propane tanks. I just like to be prepared. So I had it set up to be picked up, and a little voice said, well, first I said, I don't have to do this today. I could do it tomorrow. Then that little voice from their heart says, no, you should stay with picking it up this morning. So I called a buddy of mine, Nick, by the way. He gave me this hat, USA. He says, when I saw that hat, Uncle Martin, I knew it was for you. And I said, I don't know. I like cowboy hats. So here we go. This is from Nick, who helps me get these big propane tanks. I needed a truck. So we pick them up at 7 in the morning, and son of a gun, 7, it's close to 5 o'clock, because we were working just down the road, and we heard boom, 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 boom. And we said, boy, that sounds like it's just a couple miles down the road. And it was where we were at 7 a.m. in the morning, picking up those tanks of propane. So if you ever go to the propane explosion, I think it's like 48 seconds. I was really quick with the zippy doodah going through, because there was a guy, Channel 12, was saying, hey, would you mind saying a few words? I said, well, and I said, just a second. And I went, and if I had time, I would have got closer. So if anybody looks at the propane explosion one, when you're looking at it, pick up the zoom, make it as big as you can, and you'll see the devastation that went on there, okay? And then Channel 12, whatever they wanted, what's your first and last name? And you know how Uncle Martin is. In the past, I said, I'm Uncle Martin Anonymous, no limitation. But I didn't tell him about that handle. I just said, oh, I'm Uncle Martin. He says, Uncle Martin? I said, yeah, that's Uncle Martin. So I did this little spiel, whatever it was. I don't even know if they did anything. I don't watch the news. It's kind of negative. So so that was the end of that. That's the propane thing. Was what I'm saying is I was there 7 in the morning, and boom, 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 went off like 10 hours later. So kids, that's why you want to have your circle of white light, your angels around you at all times, because some days are a little more negative than others. The other part was, I think it was a short on getting home. Getting home. I had it was all blocked off going down the main street to get to my house, so I had to take a side street. When I took the side street, there was this water gushing across the road. I never saw anything like this in my life. So I said, and I waited there like 5 minutes. I'm thinking, this is ridiculous. And I can't turn around. Now there's a bunch of cars behind me. So I have to wait. So I said, I guess I'll record it. So I set my camera up. I recorded it. And it was like 49 seconds. And all of a sudden, I didn't have my seatbelts on. And it went ding, 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 ding. And then the water stops. And then if you make it bigger again, what you can see is at the end of the street, there's the head of Camelback Mountain, which I didn't see until I watched it. I said, hey, that's pretty cool. Camelback Mountain, the head of Camelback Mountain. And I'm going to have an episode on that, put that in the back shelf. It was when I spent 3 days and nights up there. And also when we were climbing it straight up, we used to climb it from 56th Street. You could climb it straight up, but you can't. You can't do it anywhere as of 1972. And I was indirectly involved in that. Why you can't do it anymore. So put that on the back shelf. That'll be under just Camelback Mountain. Okay, just keep that in mind. So that was that one. Getting home, and then the vandalizing property. Oh my God, vandalizing property, kids. This is very negative to vandalize property, as all you kids know. Anytime you vandalize anything, it's very negative. Not only that, karma comes back to you. So you want to give out positive things, not negative, but you'll find that out and as you grow and start giving out that energy on either side, it'll come back to you. So vandalizing property, I had this on my phone. I recorded this in April 22nd of this year. And I put it out like in July or whatever. So April, May, June. I had like 3 months on my phone. But when I was reading, everybody's putting shorts out. I said, hey, this might be something for somebody. When I looked at April 22nd, it was on a Saturday night that all this stuff was going on in front of my house. And when I recant what happened the week before, this is when the rioting in Chicago was going on, the Saturday before this Saturday. And it was a bunch of kids. They were destroying property and destroying the there was I don't know, there was some, I just saw a little fast clip of it. It was some like a black lady with more experience saying, I've lived here for 30 years and I've never seen anything like this. What is it? Is it the parents? Is it not the upbringing? I just don't, what can we do about this? And then that was about all that I saw on that. But it was happening right in front of her that she couldn't believe all this destruction and by a bunch of kids. See, episode 3, Dad always said they were kids. Whoever they are, they're kids. Mom said they were hoods. In that episode. But after what happened in episode 3, she never called hoods anymore. She called them kids too. So, no matter what kids are doing, they're still kids. They just have some things to learn. That's all, kids. All you kids, some of you kids have different upbringings that what's positive and negative. And maybe some kids just don't know that yet. So they're doing negative things and maybe they think it's positive. I think that's what the thing is. So after the next Saturday, this is happening in front of my house. I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's not funny. See, there's these big bulldozer diggers that were out there. The lights were. Looks like a disaster, the demolition disaster zone out there, because the whole street's getting ripped up. There's apartments being built, and anyway, I go out there and the porta potties knocked over. There's a big blue porta potties knocked over. All these lights are knocked over, and I'm following the trail as I'm looking, and there's about I don't know 15, 20 kids all taking selfies of themselves in one of the big scoopers. And I thought, wow, isn't that interesting? Maybe Uncle Martin would like to go over and talk to them, you know? And so I started walking over to say hey. And all of a sudden, they all looked at me, and, you know, there's 15, 20 kids. They're just kids. Well, they were in high school, maybe a little more experienced. But they all just, like, took off running. They just started running away from me. And I thought, you know, I just wanted to say, you know, what you doing? And in my own little way, maybe I would have probably said, you know, kids, you know, I think this is a little negative. That's all I was going to say. But they started running. You could hear the pitter, 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 patter of them as if you, I think it's like 25 seconds of the vandalizing property. And how they just took off. And something went through me. So it just like a bolt of blue lightning went through me. And I kind of raised my voice a little. And I just said, you can run, but you can't hide. Because in life, kids, that's what life is. You think you can run away from something, but you can't hide. You really can't. Especially nowadays. As Hollywood is finding out. They can't hide anymore. There's a lot of light coming down on Hollywood. And, well, I think it's for the benefit of everyone to see that, well, first of all, kids, you stay home. You stay closer to your home and your parents and guardians, is what Uncle Martin's saying. From this day forward, when you hear this clip. I'm sure your parents and guardians have already told you that. But now we really want to stay closer to home. And you don't walk to school alone. And you always have your big brother or sister. You have somebody with you when you're going to school. Actually, when you're going to candy store. I don't care where you're going. You don't walk around alone anymore. All right? That's all. I'm just going to leave it at that right now at this time. Okay, so the last one. This is the last one. The wasps. Wasps do return. I think it was like 1 minute and 38 seconds. I thought it was going to be a short. It wasn't. You got to stay under a minute to get a short. So I was so excited when I got outside because I saw these wasps. These wasps were in front of my house. And I thought, geez, this is fantastic. I can show the kids some wasps. Because I thought, and I believe I am, still one with wasps. But you got to remember something, kids. You got to remember something. Well, if you look at the that episode of Wasps Do Return, the wind chimes. I love wind chimes, so it was really windy. The wind chimes are going so loud, and I thought, well, man, I gotta raise my voice so that everybody can hear me about what I want to say. Well, I got really close to the wasps, and I was much too loud. You always whisper around wasps. Actually, I would suggest, kids, you don't even talk. But I had the camera really close, and I was so excited. I was so excited because I said, this will fit into episode 52 when I was up in the cave with the shaman medicine man. And when I shot those blue lightning bolt arrows out, as soon as I did that last third one, all of a sudden, because I said, all you negative energy be gone. And then I went, where's your room, where's your room, where's your room? And after that last, where's your room? I'm standing there, and that one hornet lands on the 2-inch hornet lands on my arm. The other one lands, the other one, and then I said, hello, brothers, with all the love in my heart. Sort of like when I was climbing up on that cliff, episode 20, when I got 9 inches away from that rattler. Well, you have to go there, but that's how I got out of that one. But these hornets were right there, and I didn't have any fear at all. I just said, hello, brothers. And that's when they went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They took off, and I turned around to the shaman. I said, hey, and it's time for us to go. And he left me alone in the cave. So I thought, this is fantastic. I got some wasps to show the kids. It wasn't hornets, it was wasps. So when I was doing Wasps Do Return, I said, karma returns to you. Boy, does it ever. So when I said, oh, one touched my hand saying hello, God bless him, bless his heart. He was telling me to leave. He was telling me to go away. But I didn't take it as go away. I didn't understand wasp language. I do now. And so at the end, when I said, aloha, they didn't understand Hawaiian. You know what they thought? They thought Uncle Martin was saying, kill, kill, kill. Because you know why? After I said aloha, I had my other hat on. And they knocked my hat off. They hit me in the head. A bunch of them stung me in the face. They were saying, we warned you. We warned you. You're going to get it. You're going to get it good. And I did. I really did get it. That's why I'm saying, kids. Oh, by the way. Whenever you get hit with a wasp, a bee, any kind of stingy thing, you get mud immediately. And you slap it right on wherever it was that you got bit. I don't care if there's no water. You're in the desert. Not the desert because there's sand. But let's just say anywhere where there's dirt. If you have to spit, you get mud and you put it on that. Because what it does is it draws out the poison. And the longer you wait, it's not positive. So if you do it immediately, it's going to be very positive. Okay, so this is what happened. They stung Uncle Martin in the face quite a few times. And I know you guys probably don't think it happened maybe, but I think I was spitting one out. But he didn't bite me. I did spit, I spit one out. Saying aloha, and then they came and got me. So what I did was, the next day I thought I was going to get out away from work, because when you get stung in the face like that, you know, usually work has, well, some compassion for you. No, we were really short-handed. So when I texted the picture to my boss, I said, well, you know, you can see how, if you really need me, I'll come in. I'm thinking, well, nobody's going to call you in. You don't look the same. So, I don't know, it was like 20 minutes later, he says, yeah, we're really short-handed. We don't have anybody here. You come on down. Okay. So I went to work. I had sunglasses on because there's no way. I wanted people to see what happened to me. So what I did was I went and I got the picture and I blew it up. Just so you could see how important it is you don't ever talk loudly to a wasp nest. This is what happens when you do. I don't know if there's glare on this. I'm going to put it one more time close to the camera. As soon as they hit my face, knocked my hat off, I had just watered the watering bowl for my dog. 2 dogs. I got Lightning now, and my 23-year-old Lucy. I had just watered the bowl, thank God, because there was mud all over. I got mud, and I had a mud pal. I made a mud mask. And this is another secret, kids. When you put mud on, you keep it on. You keep it on until it falls off. Do not take it off. See, I did this. I'm going to have to call it the Hornets. I'll have an episode on Hornets. When I was up at, it was either Knoll or Chevron Lake, up in the Mogollon Rim. I took them, I got stung 3 or 4 times by some hornets. And I put the mud on, but I took it off. I thought it was dry, and it wasn't. and it's very negative when you do it too early. So that's what I'm saying. This time I let the mud dry till it fell off, and well, that was the next day that I'm showing you the picture. It's still, you got poisons coming out, you know, but it was easy. I mean, it would have been a whole lot worse if I didn't put mud on. So I'm just saying, kids, bee stings, hornets, whatever you got that's getting stung, put mud on immediately, and it's going to be a lot more positive for you. So that's the 4 shorts that I had for you. I just had to put it out there because I mean, you're looking at a short and you say, what is all this about? Blah, blah, blah. Well, I just wanted to put it out because some people gave me, on the vandalizing the property, I had some people that gave me some comments. Bless your hearts. And I'll go with any more comments that you want. I'll reply. But when you look at it, you think that Uncle Martin's really angry. And I wasn't angry. I was just trying to get across to these kids that were vandalizing the street that you can run, but you can't hide, especially from Uncle Martin. Anyway, there hasn't been any problems on the street since, so that was the other thing. I think when things like this happen, you have to go forward to a certain extent and make yourself known. I mean, if you feel it's appropriate. If you don't, stay back and just leave it alone. I've never been able to do that, as you well know. Episode 14, that mob riot, that it only takes one person to stop a mob riot. Episode 14. So, kids, it's been a pleasure talking to you again. Thank you for tuning in, all you little buckaroos out there. All anyone else has been watching. I just want to say, stay safe, be well. And I'll probably talk to you this Sunday for sure. Until then, aloha and be well.